Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on Let's Talk. Listen, hit the share button, invite some friends to listen. We're going to be talking about hair loss tonight and all that's involved with it. You know, most of us as women, there's some things we don't like to talk about: hair loss, weight, and our children. There's some subjects we don't, they're very touchy subjects, and we don't always like to talk about them. Doesn't mean that we don't have a problem with it. We have talked about taking leaps of faith, starting new ventures, giving fresh eyes to areas of our lives that have been undeveloped or maybe laying dormant, and being a bit more intentional about making changes in our lives. Being more intentional that moving forward. That's what we've been trying to do. We even talked about spring cleaning. We talked about our finances and ridding ourselves of behaviors and habits that prevent us from being financially sound. We talked with Dr. Galloway and Elder Barb last week, and we're preparing for that seminar. Next week, we're going to be dealing with the stress and mental illness and so many things that we've seen happen during the pandemic. But tonight, our topic is hair loss. And the topic may seem to be random and unrelated, but it's something new for me. To the concept of spring into the new, we don't want to just challenge our viewers to try something new, but here on Let's Talk, we also want to try things that are new that to us, or we have not even tried yet, that we're open to it. We want to bring you various topics of interest, as well as educate you on areas that are possible that keep us well rounded. In our culture, hair has always been an issue. We have talked about good hair, bad hair. We just saw Will Smith punch someone because it said his wife is bald. That's a touchy subject for many people. Also, many may not know that for over 25 years, I've been a cosmetology teacher, salon owner. Long before full-time ministry and pastoring, I served the people in different capacity, but I've always been serving, especially women. I've spent my entire adult life in one way or another serving. I remember sitting at my chair for many years, and I was the counselor. I would listen to people's story. I would listen to things that people were going through, and only to find myself in ministry doing the same thing. And it's not a topic. Hair loss is not a topic that's always discussed. Very few of us as women ever talk about it among ourselves. You got to be real close for someone to tell you about their hair loss. So years ago, hair loss was considered to be a problem mostly dealt with by men. And attention was given to what role hair loss in men played in their image and their self-esteem. But in 1989, Michael Jordan made a bold move in response to his receding hairline by shaving his head bald. And although his hair loss for men can still be devastating, the tides forever changed. Men then began to use baldness as a style. Bald men are considered to be very attractive. Listen, in fact, some women prefer to see a clean-shaven, bald-headed man. They do. It has become such an accepted part of culture that rarely does anyone stop what they're doing to notice a bald man. However, a bald, noticeably thin woman still attracts attention. If you see a woman with bald spots, if you see a woman with thin hairline, receding hairline, anything like that will get someone. They'll look at it twice. Where a man, they won't bother too much, but with women, we do. Research states that 50% of women either have or will have issues with hair loss, which equals about 30 million women in the United States. So this is no small issue. Sometimes it's a thinning hairline or a receding hairline. Sometimes it's alopecia, that the balding on the top of the head. You see that happening. It's so many different ways. Some are just shedding. The hair sheds every day. Humans generally shed 50 to 100 hair every day. We do. Hair shedding is a natural balance. Some hair fall out while others grow in. When the balance is interrupted, hair falls out less, and it does not grow back as fast. Hair loss is different from shedding. Again, shedding is a natural part of life of a hair follicle. But hair loss, on the other hand, comes from alopecia. Alopecia is the medical term for hair loss. These issues often trace back to some genetic or physical problem. And although hair loss can affect any gender, it's more likely to affect us as women. Women over 40 years begin to deal with hair loss. Women who just had a baby sometimes say during their pregnancy they started losing their hair. Or if they're in a lot of stress related jobs and situations, they complain. If they're on chemotherapy from any form of cancer, hair loss is also inevitable there. And although they're so more likely to suffer hair loss, one of the most common hair loss demographics in our culture are those who deal with alopecia. Traction alopecia is baldness and thinning due to tight ponytails, braids, weaves, wigs, and harsh chemicals. Many times, women that wear wigs all the time suffer with the hairline receding, hairline breaking off. Women who use the micro braids, many times when you take out the micro braids, it takes the hairline out and leave women with quite a bit of baldness in the front. Any style that pulls on the roots of the hair can potentially cause traction alopecia. And the current styles and hair trends are wreaking havoc on our hair and our scalp. Traction alopecia is you're constantly pulling your hair back into a ponytail. You're going to find yourself getting bald in the front. If you're pulling your hair up on the top and wear it on the top, you're going to find that begin to happen also on the top of your head. So, but not only is hair loss affecting us physically, it also bothers many women emotionally and mentally. It can cause depression and change how we view ourselves and even our self-esteem. For example, if you grew up being told you weren't as attractive as other members of your family because you were darker or your nose was too big or you had real stubby hair, because you were dark or your nose was big, your lips were too big, you secretly internalized that pain. Feelings never addressing them for years, and your hair begins to thin or fall out suddenly. As the tsunami of feelings, unresolved conflict begins to flood you, your emotions get upset. You're already dealing with your looks. You're already dealing with your skin color. You're dealing with your hair loss. And sometimes women find themselves very depressed, very oppressed because of the hair loss, because of the battles that they go through in their emotions. For women, hair loss is so difficult. Now, all the voices and negative comments begin to come back. Am I unattractive because I have short hair? Am I unattractive now because I'm going bald? Am I unattractive because of my nose? So many different areas in our lives, we wind up battling our own low self-esteem. And it may seem shallow or surface to attach your esteem and value to hair and looks, but let's be honest, we do it. And rather than judge, let's talk about it and see if we can find a way to help healing those suffering with the issue. As I said before, I've spent my entire adult life serving people in this capacity. I taught cosmetology for over 25 years. I ran my salon businesses for over 25 years. I've had salons, I've had teaching, training, all of that, and became a master teacher in cosmetology. So I've always been interested in hair. So we may present to the world as though we have it all together, but often there are underlying issues that prevent us from experiencing the freedom God desires for each and of us to have. Women struggle all the time with their emotions, whether it's a weight issue, whether it's a look, a nose, a hair, a color. I was just talking to someone yesterday and they were telling me about so many times, and I didn't even know that was a part of Pittsburgh, that if you're darker in Pittsburgh, they would say certain things about you. So we look around our lives and we see so many things that are women that we wind up getting attacked on, whether it's a color, a look, a hair, a nose, or whatever it is. You got the big lips, you got whatever. We hear so many things, but somewhere along the line, we've got to get information and use the information that we have. Whether it's the thing of the hair, is there something out there that can help us? And so a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go over to Sharice's page. I was just scanning through Facebook and I saw her, I think it was in Puerto Rico or somewhere, studying, dealing with the hair loss. And I said, well, I need to get her here. So tonight we have joining us Cherie Hundley. She's the owner of Dht Hair Salon and Dht Trichology Services. Let's bring her on now and discuss this topic that's affecting so many people. Good evening, Sharice.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone out there?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, I am Sharice Hundley. I I'm a licensed hairstylist and also a licensed certified trichologist, worldwide trichologist. I am certified to do trichology worldwide. I took on the trichology class a few years ago, right before the pandemic. And I've been doing hair 32 years. So I've combined.
I know you've been in the business a long time. I know that you've been at this. What made you decide to, I mean, diverse, as it looks like. What made you, were you noting that a lot of your clients were dealing with hair loss, or was it just something that you had a passion for?
You know, I'm so glad you asked me that question. I experienced hair loss twice throughout my life. In grade school, my mother took the blame on that one when the relaxers came out. Then I developed a hair, not a hair loss, but a skin condition that progressed, and then ultimately took my hair out. So so I had 2 rounds of hair loss. So like you were saying, self-esteem, wow, yes, I went through it twice, young adult and as well as a child. But yes, doing hair for 32 years, you see and you notice your clients going through the transformation of thinning and the hair loss. I mean, you see that they're a little sick, you see them going through changes of life, environmental changes, and then you see the hair changes. But being a cosmetologist, you do exactly what you were called to do, is condition that hair, make it look beautiful. But then I ran into a problem. Hey, I'm conditioning, I'm taking care of the hair, but this woman is still losing her hair. I need to figure this out. I need to decide what I need to do, stand behind the chair, just do hair, make it gorgeous from the outside. But this woman is sitting here and she's hurt. She's suffering from self-esteem. She's losing her hair. She's went to a dermatologist. The dermatologist did what they needed to do. They healed the skin. They gave her injections, and she still has the same problem. So guess what? That's where I come into play, the trichologist, which is the hair and scalp specialist.
Wow. Listen, I used to own a salon too, and I remember how challenging it was for long hours raising children, how it was running my business and juggling my family. How are you managing to study trichology? And I know you're a mother, grandmother, so you're studying trichology, you're trying to run the business, and it looked like you went overseas to study it.
I did. I decided to do my clinicals overseas, and I just thank him. Sergio, I thank you so much. I tell you what, he's a great inspiration, and he is definitely a role model to me. I am, as far as being a parent and a mother, a grandmother, the challenges were raising my children, trying to balance that out, running the business. But the good thing is that I arranged their schedule after school, their bus stops. Everything was surrounded by the business. So they were dropped off here. I did all community things close by so I can leave out while my clients under dry. I know this sounds funny and it's like bizarre, but this is what I had to do. Is my clients under dry would drop one of the kids off at an event, come back, finish a client. You know, I did things like that. They would come back to the salon. I taught my daughter how to do things around the salon. My son would clean. She would answer the phone, and they would do their schoolwork. We go home and start the day all over again.
Wow. And so now you went to, is it Puerto Rico?
I actually went to World Trichology Society, and I went to Puerto Rico for my clinicals.
Wow. So it was that local? Is that local that you took trichology?
No. Well, yes and no. The school is based out of New York, Staten Island, New York. I did my classes online because of the pandemic. I did everything online, and it took me a few years. You know, it was definitely challenging during the pandemic. And of course, you know, we get a little older, and I said, you know what, I can't do this. I'm too old for this. But you know what? I said, I don't got a choice. I got these clients that need me. I got to do something about this. Yeah. So I pushed through it. And So we do have ongoing classes that is required every week, every Monday. So I do those every Monday. And then we have seminars and places we have to go to, you know, once, twice a year to keep up our certification.
So for someone that is maybe not a low income, is this something that's feasible for all women? Or tell me a little bit.
Yes, because guess what? Hair loss predominantly is based around a lot of health issues, okay? I do offer the ability to bill your insurance company. Sometimes they deny it, sometimes they don't. I do offer financing, which is a third-party financing with an interest rate. I do find that. And then I also have people who pay as they go. So I make it quite possible for anybody to get a simple hair treatment. And even if it's once a month, I tell them, hey, if you come see me once a month, at least you're trying, and I'll work it with you.
Okay, so I know, as been in the industry as many as years as I have, a lot of the weaves, a lot of the braids, a lot of these new wigs that are lace front wigs, that they're using so much glue on the hairline is being taken out like crazy. What can you do to help people that are battling with the receding hairline? Not the top baldness, but just the receding hairline. What can that do to help?
You know, that is difficult only because 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with traction alopecia. And you pretty much went over that. When you're dealing with traction alopecia, you have sometimes a 50% of recovery. But until you come in to my place, my office, I will do a thorough consultation. I'll use a simple tool, a trichoscope, which is right here. My little trichoscope here. It super magnifies down in the scalp. I can see actually how many open follicles you have available. We can work with it. I can give you a percentage of how much you have to work with and see if it's possible.
If it's possible. So in the consultation, you would know exactly what you can do then.
Yes, have a general idea.
So what's the difference? And no, that's traction alopecia. What about the alopecia in the top, the baldness? Is that easier to come back?
Well, it depends on how they're losing it. It can be autoimmune. It can be due from thyroid. It can be from medication. The same thing. It can be, matter of fact, there's more than 20 forms of alopecia. It could be frontal fibrosing, which is the hairline, which is very common in white women where they lose the hairline. CCCA, which is very common, central alopecia, which is the center, is very, very common in Black women. And it's due to autoimmune, high blood pressure, medication. And then that form of alopecia, it begins to scar very quickly if it's ignored.
Wow. So now I see you have a full head of hair. So have you tried the treatment, or how did your hair grow back after two sessions like that?
Well, it's been, you know what? Actually, I had three hair loss incidents. After my son was about 6 years, so I'm going on probably about 14 years of regrowing my hair back. Once again, using chemicals, I had a 3rd-degree burn. My dermatologist says, that's it, Sharice. No more, leave it alone, just let it grow. So I was forced to wear a short natural. So just growing it, conditioning. And now that I have the equipment to dehydrate the skin, the scalp, the hair, I treat myself once a week.
Tell us about that. You're not talking about the trichology, you're just talking about the regular salon, the deep conditioning?
No, it is one of the machines I use for trichology.
Okay.
It is a form of laser treatment, blue light and red light. It's a Hydra Ozone. It hydrates and forces. It's like a pressure cooker almost, you know, and it boxes. It has a hot and a cold heat air therapy, which shocks the follicles. And I sit underneath there once a week.
Okay, and that's a part of the treatment after the consultation.
Yes, part of the treatment. It's one of the treatments I use.
Okay, give me a little idea of what the process is. Once I come in, I'm coming into you. Let's say my hairline is receding, and I want you. What's my process?
Okay, the process is you come in. And first, generally people say, you know what, this is a bit expensive. Can I just come in and see if there's any way that you can just help me out? Sure, no problem. You come in, I take a look, I do a quick examination underneath the scope, and I said, you know what, you're a great candidate. In order to sit, you need to sit here. I need to ask you a series of questions about heredity, about your health, a series of consultations. And I need you to be honest with me, because by the time that the end of the consultation, I have 90% of the reason why you lost your hair, your hormones, the medicine you're on, the diet, the foods you put in your body every day, the stress levels you're under every day, and even hairdressing histories. What have you done to your hair? So at the end of the consultation, I do a pull test. I take several strands of your hair. You see right behind me, I have my microscope. I examine about 6 strands of your hair underneath the microscope. I'll see the levels of protein that's missing in your hair. I can see the follicle and see what's going on actually internally, believe it or not. I know it's one of the gifts God has given me, as well as the special training that I had in Puerto Rico, to analyze that bulb and see exactly what's going on internally. It can be hormones. It can be digestive system. It can be pinched nerves. It can be liver problems, heart condition, an examination, a thorough examination. That's what I do during the consultation.
One of the questions one of our viewers said to ask you is, do you recommend vitamins? Do you recommend any kind of vitamins for hair loss in your consultation?
Yes, definitely. Almost matter of fact, everyone goes home with vitamins. If it's just simple prenatal vitamins, that's something you could just get over the counter. But a lot of people are suffering from the DHT, which is a natural hormone that our scalp produces. The DHT levels are so high. So I do recommend a Dht blocker, which stabilizes.
And is that over the counter or something that we'd have to get through you?
Well, you can get it through me, but yes, I can recommend the actual company that makes it. Yes, I do recommend that, or you can get it from me as well.
So what does that blocker do? Say that again.
The blocker, the Dht blocker, it lowers your DHT levels. Everybody produces it. I'm going to give you a quick example. Someone with CCCA, or not CCCA, let's say a female pattern hair loss, okay? It's very common in women, heredity, okay? Because genetically, you are prone to lose your hair. Genetically, you are prone to be completely skin bald on top. Your Dht blockers will block it, will stabilize it, lower it, and keep it at a low minimum to where you can live longer with your hair that you have today. If you don't take a Dht blocker, you're just going to go through the process of losing it, by the time 10 years from now, guess what? You're right where you're supposed to be if you don't take a Dht blocker.
And so you're seeing the difference that trichology makes. You're actually getting to, I see the excitement. I see the excitement that you have. So you're really getting to see your clients happy. You're getting to see clients that are excited.
So excited. I'm telling you, it's so rewarding, especially when you know that you're doing what you're called to do. And then I look at this as a ministry. You're counseling, you're consulting, you're just you're talking to them. They're first of all, they've been told you their life story in 1 hour, and then you got to soothe them. They're dealing with stress, and they tell you everything, and then the heart problems, and then medical problems, and I mean, it's like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Bringing that back.
Do you find yourself getting a lot of men interested? Men?
Yes.
Really?
Believe it or not, because, and I asked him, I says, hey, I had one traveled 2 hours to come see. He said, I heard about you. And I says, good. He says, I'm that guy that doesn't look good in the bald. So I need you to help me. So we have a lot of gentlemen out there who are not willing and ready to shave their head off and say, you know what, call it a quits, just do it. And I do have a few men who are currently wearing locks. And because of the pulling and the tugging, it's causing traction alopecia, believe it or not. And they're like, please help. Can you treat it or something? What do you need to do? Yes. And then just recently, believe it or not, men are asking, can you help my beard? Well, guess what? I can. You have the thinning in your beard. Guess what? That's part of your hair. So I'm working on a small system for the gentlemen with the beards because it's all connected to the hair.
Wow. So some of the dreadlocks is causing the alopecia in men.
Yes.
The type.
Yes, they are dealing with traction.
Sometimes you see the men that the hair's all the way going back with this long. Okay.
Yes, and they pull it straight back into a ponytail.
Yes.
And pull it out even more.
And they're pulling it out. It's falling out.
That is worse. Yes.
Wow. And so you're seeing men now saying, I don't want to go bald. I want to get my hair back. And they don't need it the length that we do, but they just want it to be filled in.
Yes, that's all they want. They do not want to shave it.
You know, Cherise, I'm noticing now people are actually coloring their hairline, spray painting it.
Yes.
Doesn't that damage it even more?
Well, yes, it is, because it's clogging. Anytime you clog the follicles, you're causing more damage. And that's what I teach. Right now, I mean, people are so mad at me. What do you mean I can't put grease on my hair anymore? I'm sorry, because you're causing more damage. The cloggage of the pore causes to miniaturize the follicle, you know? So I'm trying to teach people, get it through their heads. Don't put anything on your pores, on your scalp to clog it. You're causing your situation to get worse. You're causing
One of our clients just asked, is that Nutrafol they're asking about?
Yes, that's number one on the market. And yes,
yeah, they want you to talk about that.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's very natural. It has ashwagandha. It has all your ingredients. I was going to turn my camera around so you can see my little display. I'm not working for Nutrafol. No, I'm not. Okay. But I highly recommend it because it works. It works. I tell you what, it's an at-home remedy. It's filled with all your vitamins you need. You can actually stop taking the vitamins you're taking. And except vitamin D, I always recommend you just continue to give yourself more vitamin D. You can never get enough of vitamin D. It's water soluble and it comes right out. But Nutrafol is wonderful. It's all natural. And guess what? I have yet to have a doctor. I always tell people, check out with your doctor first, see if you could take it. You know, anything, I want you to look. I have information. You read about it, see what it does. But it definitely is I'm a Dht blocker as well. And
you carry that?
Yes, I carry it. And guess what? I do sell it a little cheaper than where you can purchase. I'm not going to name those other places, but yes, I do carry, because I want people to buy it. I want people to do what they need to do. And if I got to sell it and lose $3 or $2 or just break even, that's fine. But I need people to understand the importance about the DHT. It's very, very important and the cloggage of the follicles. So I teach you how to do maintenance at home as well, because some can't see me on a regular.
That is so interesting that you can do that. And that is a vitamin that you take on a daily basis.
Yes.
But it's not something you put in your hair. It's just something you take.
Yes. Matter of fact, they have multiple of different things. There's a serum that a lot of my clients take. There's other things that I do recommend for a lot of people who are going through genetic hair loss. Minoxidil is one of the number ones, and it's kind of looked down on, like, oh, I'm not taking that. If you stop taking it, you're going to lose your hair forever. Well, guess what? You need it. You need to continue to take it if you want to keep the hair. So a lot of my clients are on a DHT blocker or a vitamin supplement, and as well as a minoxidil. And I do a lot of other little essential things when they're here during the treatments. Daily.
So are you moving your clients out of relaxers into more natural? How are you? Because I know chemicals do a lot of damage to the hair. I've worked in chemicals, and you have those people who want their hair to be so straight with a relaxer. So are you moving a lot of your clients now out of relaxing their hair to more natural, more silk pressing? What are you doing to get them away from those chemicals?
I actually started probably about 10 years ago, only because I'm telling you, I had a large clientele who were dealing with problem head. So that was the first step. The first step is, let's reduce the chemicals, not get rid of it totally, but just maybe 3 times a year. Maybe color it. If you had a choice, which one would it be? Color, right? You don't want to show your gray, let's color it and just leave the other one alone. So with the past 10 years, I've been actually transitioning a lot of my clients only because they're dealing with a lot of health issues, which caused me to do the transition.
Wow. So you're doing more of the natural hairstyle.
Yes, ma'am.
And so with the procedures that you do you find when they don't wear relaxers, it's easier to do the trichology?
I'm going to say both. Because when you're doing treatments, you have to be willing to give up something. It's temporary. And this is what I tell the people. Hey, can you wear a wig and protect your hairline just for 2 to 6 months? Just kind of figure this out. You got to work with me, because if the hair is long and natural, you're treating it every week, that's a lot of hairdressing, either coming out of your pocket or you standing behind a mirror in your bathroom weekly.
Wow. So let's talk about how trichology is now working. You said we come in for the consultation. Mm-hmm. Then once you see our hair, what's the next thing you recommend? Is it going to be the hot treatments? What do you recommend after that?
Well, when you do come in for the consultation, I require that you fill out sheets, okay? Paperwork, because this is a professional legal business. It's not just hairdressing, okay? This is dealing with the science of hair. This is dealing with the medical part of hair. So I have to have a complete medical background of what's going on with you. And matter of fact, to make it even, if it worked to work even better, I need a complete chart of your blood work, because now I'm qualified to read your blood work, because you'd be amazed which level is off. Now, I read I read your blood work trichologically. Your doctor reads it medically. Right. Yes, medically it looks normal, quote unquote normal. Your vitamin B's, it's only two points off. But trichologically, it's off. And if something's off, the scale tilts, and something needs to be done about that vitamin D. Something needs to be done about that vitamins. It could be iron. It might be normal, quote unquote, might be a little low, might be a little high, but trichologically, we need to fix it, because the hair is non-essential to the body. It's the first thing to go when something is going on with your body due to stress or something internally. So once we figure out during our consultation what's going on, we fix it.
Wow. So we're now, we've done the consultation, and you recommended some vitamins. And what about the treatments now?
Now the treatments are designed for the individual, because everyone is going through a different situation. They are definitely altered. Most clients do get red or blue light, or some both, because the blue light therapy deals with the infections, kills bacteria, people who have dry scalp, those who have psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, scalp issues. Blue light therapy is best for them. And then everybody gets red light therapy. And I have two FDA approved machines that do that. Each treatment ranges in between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. I jump from machine. I use a suction machine to pull and suck out the extra sebum that's clogged in your pores. I use galvanic currents, which shocks and stimulates the follicles. I use high frequency, which shocks the follicles and
are those any laser treatments?
Yes, the laser is low laser. That's the red light. Yes, and that is the blue light. And now soon to have a new machine coming in that offers 7 different light therapies.
Wow. Okay, so we're there now. How long will I be on that treatment?
Well, everybody's different. Unfortunately, I cannot give a number when we are doing a consultation, but I give a roundabout. I always tell folks, hey, give it 8 weeks. 8 weeks is minimum. Okay, 8 weeks is minimum. 8 weeks, you will see a change. You will see a difference, and it will encourage you to continue the process. Now, I do tell people this, hey, if you can't afford it, I'll give you a regimen to do at home, but you get your best results when you do your regimen at home and then you come in and get treatments at the same time. Whether you do it weekly, every 2 weeks, or monthly. Weekly, you get your best results very quick. Every 2 weeks, you still get results, but you're spacing them out. So I work with you as far as financial.
Well, I have people that watch this show because we go live from Chicago to over 90 nations. I have people in England that are watching. I have people in Africa that are watching. When you say it's international, can they reach people in that area, or can they FaceTime you, or how can they also be a part of what you're doing?
Yes, they can actually, because my school is worldwide. We are actually, they just created curriculums for Spanish, French, several different languages, because it's all people from all over the world who attend my school. So it's very, matter of fact, trichology is more common over in Europe, China, and over in North America. It's like kind of shaky. They're not recognizing us as a true profession. It's kind of the step above hairdressing, you know, and ignored by the dermatologists, I may say. But it is highly respected in other countries, to where they are actually hair doctors.
And they're actually seeing the results of it.
Oh, my dear, yes, definitely.
So where would someone in Europe look? What would they look for? What's the name of the company that they would look for to get your information from? Or
let's do this. The best thing they can do, if they want to look for a world certified trichologist, Google trichologists in their area. Most of them have been certified for 20, 30 years. It's been around for many, many years overseas, and it's really new here in the United States. I'm going to say generally about 30, 40 years.
Okay. Someone has a question for you. They want to know about prenatal vitamins.
Yes.
What is your suggestion? I'm not sure what that test.
You know what? I did mention a prenatal vitamin. Let me tell you something about prenatal vitamin. When a person is taking a prenatal vitamin, it's because they are carrying with child. When they're carrying with child, that vitamin gives a supplement of extra vitamins that they are missing because of the fetus is stealing from them. So when a person is missing the vitamins and missing supplements and missing circulation, the circulation is very, very poor in their body, prenatal vitamins can definitely help that.
Okay. Is that something they get from you, or would that become from their doctor?
You can get it from over the counter, drugstore.
Here's another question that's come in. Does dandruff affect your hair growth?
Yes, of course. Let me tell you, I just pretty much said anything that's coating your scalp, anything that is clogging your pores will stop the growth, the hair, the possibilities of the hair pushing through your follicles is clogging. Even the sebaceous glands, you have a sebaceous gland underneath each follicle that your body produces natural oils, and then the oils that we put on top of it, and then the sebaceous glands that seep and come out of the pores, and you're just ruining the follicles, you're clogging. And of course, dandruff comes from either your diet, what you're eating, or too much excessive oil that you're eating, or matter of fact, your body's just overproducing, which causes another form of dandruff, which of course sometimes it gets worse, and then you have seborrheic dermatitis, then you have psoriasis, due to autoimmune and things that we eat and things we put in our body.
So if somebody has been battling this 10, 20 years, is there help for them also?
Yes.
Not just the current one, but the ones that have been seeing this long term.
Good question. I get a lot of clients that come in and say, hey, Cherise, is there any help for me? And I say, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Because you have been dealing with this for 20 years, a trichologist, and we can do everything, and now we can follow all the remedies, and we can develop this and put this on and put that on and give you this treatment, give you that treatment. And ultimately, if you do not have open, healthy follicles available, there's nothing I can do. That's why when I do the treatment, the consultation, I thoroughly examine your scalp and see exactly how much I'm working with. Now, I will say this. We were taught that whatever you had 3 to 5 years ago, that's what I'm able to work with and bring back. 20 years ago, impossible. It's scarred, it's gone. The follicle is completely, the skin is smooth, and most likely you do have some scarring.
Yeah, because there's sometimes you don't even see any holes. You don't see any of the glands. It's like a baby's bottom. It's just so smooth. So those are some things that you say might be impossible.
Yes. And then I look at it underneath the trichoscope. I can show you and say, hey, are you okay? Are you comfortable knowing that this area is going to be smooth? But right around here, we can get some hair moving up around it. Now, we call that little island hairs, where it's just kind of just mixing through. Hey, it's better than what you had.
Yes. So, I saw some pictures. Are we able to show the pictures? I want to show some of the pictures you sent me. Tell us what's happening in here, because that was interesting.
I know, right?
They're going to bring some of those up for us and let us see what's okay. Look at this.
Okay, this lady right here, we have the vertex, which is the top of the head at the top, and then we have the right side. Okay, this woman here, I commend her. She was a mother birthing, and she was kind of funny, kind of anticipating about going through the process because she didn't want to do anything to hurt the baby while nursing. And she's like, hey, can I do this? This is absolutely. So this is very safe. And we did her treatment in that picture for 16 weeks. So
Let me see that again.
Yes. That was 16 weeks. Yes. So 4 months.
The same person?
Same person. That's the top.
Yeah.
You see before and after. And then at the bottom, you see the right side for 16 weeks before and after.
Okay. So it's coming in
every week. And she followed everything I told her to do weekly at home.
Wow. And how is she now?
She's wonderful. She actually was ready to get some color, and we were able to give her some color. And the color, of course, kind of just blend in the rest, because now she has the island hair, and she's okay and she's comfortable wearing her hair now. And that's what I do. I ask people, hey, where do you want to be? Be honest with yourself. We cannot bring 100% back, but be honest. Will you be happy with 30% of it coming back? And if you had 30%, how would you wear it? How would you wear it, and be confident wearing it? And that's what I do. I try to bring them to a level where they're confident.
All right, let's see the other one.
Okay, now. That's a gentleman. That's one of the gentlemen's, and he is actually new to me. The one on the left is the very first time he walked in the door. The one at the top right, is 2 weeks later. The one at the bottom is 4 weeks. It's actually 32 days later. He is outraged. He's like, I can't believe this is working. I can't believe it. He told his mom. His mom made an appointment. He's like, Mom, you got to go see this woman. 32 days, and this is his results. He's like, Miss Cherise, I'm doing everything you're telling me to do at home. And he's coming every week. And now it's 32 days. Saturday was 32 days. I said, I have to take a picture.
Wow. Let's see. This is the other one that I thought. Now look at this.
Look at that.
What is happening here with her hair?
Yes. Now I want you to see something. She was, this is a severe case because you see the one on the left. Okay, this is androgenetic alopecia. See the little Christmas tree form? See, in hair loss, we look for shapes. And that tells us what type of hair loss they're dealing with. Androgenetic alopecia is genetic. And this is the shape that it forms, and it just spreads and gets wider. Before you know it, the entire top is gone, and she has a large Christmas tree looking spot. 16 weeks here of treatment, and look, because of the Dht blocker, look what it did in the treatments. We stopped it, we stabilized it. So guess what? She never has to live with that thinning top because she's taken, yes. So she's continued doing her treatments at home, her regimen at home. And now that she feels comfortable, she said, you know what? I just want to wear an afro. Little short, that's all I want to wear.
Wow. So that now I'm looking at that. Oh, we can move this one out. The last one that we saw, now you're going to keep her natural. That will be, that makes it easy for it to grow rather than her using chemicals. I couldn't hear you.
If you can help me bring this in, I will cut all my hair off and wear an afro, a short little natural. I just wanted to wear a natural where my top's not super thin and looking sheer and see-through. I said, you got it, baby. So we worked very hard.
But do you suggest that though, once they finish the treatment, stay natural, whether it's the longer hair or shorter hair, stay natural and find a style that's for them? Because your hair, your hair is long. You have color in. But do you use chemicals in your hair?
Only color only.
Okay. And so after they finish the treatment, do you recommend them stay with just color, a silk press? What do you suggest once we've come through the treatment?
I do. If they want to continue to let the hair grow and to wear their own hair, yes, I do. Once in a while, depending, because 9 times out of 10, I'm dealing with people who have the thinning top. They have nothing going on with the back. The back is perfectly fine. It's growing beautifully, perfectly. You know, I say, hey, you know what? We can be creative here and give you a little do that kind of, you know, gives you a little spunk. And I will perm the back, the bottom, and we will color the top, which gives it the appearance that it is a little fuller. And hey, they leave out so happy.
Ready to go. Do the color bother the scalp when they're in treatment? Do you suggest no color till the treatment is over?
The color is perfectly fine. They can get color in between treatments. I do not recommend relaxing during treatments. I will not relax during treatments. We discuss relaxing after the process, and I still try to talk them out of it unless they want to wear a short little pixie little cut where it's just relaxed in the nape area.
And so what about the patients now and the clients that the hair is not going to grow back? Do you believe in the netting and the bridging and weaves? There's nothing else you can do. There's no hair coming. I remember when I taught cosmetology, one of the things that I implemented in teaching was the netting, where you would braid their hair, use the net to give them a bridge to work with, because there's no hair coming. So
Yeah,
you have a client that nothing's going to happen. It's just bald.
it
Would
is.
are you open for them going into the bridging effects of using the net and building a hair almost like a wig? Are
Yes,
you open to that for them?
I am. Yes, I am. And this is a person, and this is only a person that I know. We've done all we can do. She's just at a point to where she's just not comfortable wearing the her own hair and the results of it. And yes, I will do that. Now I will say this, and I have several clients I am currently doing the custom netting and weavings for. Because there is a small amount of hair left on the head, I do want to conserve and preserve and try to keep that on it. So I do not use a lot of tension. And
Okay.
another thing, I will say this, because I know the importance of the clogged follicle, I do not recommend leaving these wigs and hair pieces on at a long period of time. So I tell them, hey, we're going to do this, but we need to take this off, in like 2 weeks. We
And
need
still get your treatment.
yes, we need to deep cleanse the follicles, keep everything clear, and so that you can keep the remaining of the hair on your head, because we have to, keep something.
Save something.
Right.
So tell me some of the machines that you're using. You said you have the blue light, the red light. What else do you use in your field? I'm looking around to see what I'm trying to see what's all in your office.
Okay, let's do this. Let's see. We have these are all FDA approved here. I have this is my master imaging laser machine. This one carries the red light, yellow light, and blue light therapy. Yellow light, it soothes the scalp, sensitive scalps. The blue light, the same thing, kills bacteria, dandruff, and also red light, it stimulates the capillaries underneath the scalp, gets the blood flowing. So this one carries 3, and I could set it on a timer. I could set which light therapy they're going to receive. And this one here is the Hydro mist. That's the Hydro mist right here. It's the Ozone Hydro mist. It has hot therapy as well as cold therapy. It has a steam therapy, which hydrates the scalp. It lifts and it pulls excessive dandruff off of the scalp. It purifies it. It puts oxygen into the scalp. It gets the blood flow in the scalp area. And then it also, believe it or not, it is the best conditioning machine for your hair itself. Not only for the scalp, but for the hair. So just imagine pressure cooking your hair.
Yes.
The conditioners, because I do use a customized scalp mask before I put you underneath the machines. That's on your scalp. And then something different goes on mask for your hair. It goes onto your hair at the same time. What I use on the scalp is not for the hair.
I have this last question. I have one more thing after this, but if I have a hairstylist, I'm going to someone else who, I love how she does my hair, but I just want to come to you for treatment. Can I do that?
Yes, you wouldn't believe the amount of customers I have. I actually have one. She comes in every Friday and she gets her treatment. And then when she leaves out here, she goes to her hairstylist. I am not in the market of trying to redevelop myself in the cosmetology field. I am here to help those who are losing their hair, which means I am not taking on new clientele for the hair business. I am here to service you for your hair loss. So those cosmetologists out there, the stylists that are out there, you have clients who are suffering from these conditions, please send them my way, because I fix the hair and the scalp and send them back to you so you can continue to have business. Because without them is where I was exactly, I was in your shoes. I says, what am I going to do? I've been doing hair all these years. And more than half of my clients are losing their hair. Then comes a pandemic. They're having COVID hair loss. They're having stress-related hair loss. And I'm like, what in the world? So now I'm treating these people, and hairdressers out there, send them my way so I can send them back to you and you can have some hair working. But yes, I do. I have a good group of people that come for treatments. They either go straight to their stylist immediately right after, or they wait a day or two and I'll wear a wig.
Wonderful. Well, I am excited. I learned a lot tonight. Now, before I leave, tell me, where do I see Cherise in the next 5 years? What's next for you?
Well, next 5 years. Well, you know what? I do have 2 locations. The next 5 years, I would like a 3rd location. I want to truly concentrate on mastering my consultations and being the best trichologist I can be. That's where I want to be in the next 5 years. My centers, I would love for my centers to grow, where I have technicians helping me treat the people, because right now I'm taking one on, one off, one on, one off. And yes, in 5 years, I will be able to take on more clients at the same time, still give them the customized treatment, give them the intimacy, because this is an intimate process where you're in a private room session and you are receiving that one-on-one, treatment. So I would like a place. My desire, my prayer is I like a place where I have multiple rooms to treat more people who are having hair loss issues.
And where are your locations now?
One in Pennsylvania and one in Virginia.
Okay. All right. And so give us some addresses. Tell us where we can.
Okay. The one in Pittsburgh is located in Penn Hills. It's on the back end of Penn Hills, the Verona area. That is 472 Wildwood Avenue, Verona, PA 15147. And then the second location is in Richmond, Virginia, which is in the Midlothian, Chesterfield area. It is located at the mall, very visible, but it's a small office within the building right at the mall, 11500 Midlothian Turnpike, Richmond, Virginia.
All right. That's thank you so much, Cherise, for coming.
Welcome.
And I see that you're traveling all over the world. I see
Yes,
you always somewhere.
I do, because I'm dealing with people who are dealing with so much heaviness. I do. Once a month, I try to take a moment to myself, regroup. So once a month for a weekend, I get away, regroup, come back.
Self-care.
Yes, self-care.
Well, I am so glad. I am coming to see you. I don't know what I'm coming to see you for. You're going to have to help with everything. But you've been so dear to me for so many years. I can't wait to see you and to see what you're doing. I want to come and see the place. I'm not far from you, so I am coming to see you. And I want to thank you for sharing with us tonight. And I pray as this broadcast hits the nations that your clientele will come from everywhere.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being with us tonight. God bless you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's different. It's not usually the way I go, but something about what I saw Cherise doing just triggered me to say, listen, let's learn more about this. Let's see what we can do as women. Anything pertaining to women, making us better, making us stronger, whatever. I want to make sure I bring it to the broadcast. Next week, we're going to be dealing with mental health. Minister Ingrid Edwards will be here talking about so many of the things that women are dealing with, low self-esteem, maybe just feeling depressed, overwhelmed. We want to address some of those issues. So we're going to talk about that next week. And then in June, you're going to be shocked. I'm going to tell you in June about some people who has had a process that you can't wait to see. I'm going to have Reverend Shadwick out of New Jersey, who's lost over 100 pounds. He started on the journey and has done an amazing job. I knew him. I was just right before COVID. I think I spoke at his church for him maybe 2 years ago. And during COVID, I watched the process of Arthur just going down, down, down. And on Easter Sunday, I got to see him in his suit and how wonderful he looked with his family. And then his wife, they wanted to have a baby and it took them a long time. So they're going to be here with us in June, sharing their story. In June, we're going to have some great stories. Pastor Ani's going to be with us as she did her journey to get her PhD. And the journey that was long, it was tedious, but she did it. So in June, we're going to look at journeys. We're going to look at things that sometimes, you know, you're going through something and it seems as though it's taken a long time. I'm also going to have someone who the doctors say couldn't have a baby. And after much process, they now have children. I can't wait to share some of these stories with you. Listen, if there's anything you want me to talk about, messenger me, let me know, and we'll do our best to air it right here on Let's Talk. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope we gave you something that was inviting for you, that you liked it, and maybe even stop by and see Cherise if you need her help. God bless you. Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk.